Today, let's talk about virtue signaling using someone else's time, money, resources, whatever. Because that's what we see a lot with these fucking virtue signalers. In the sperm jacking cases, for example, I know he didn't want to have the kid, and, technically, when a woman does it, her body, her choice, she could just kill the kid. But when it's a man whose rights are in question, it's his kid, the DNA test proves it, he has to pay for it, he has no rights. And the excuses are always something along the lines of, but think of the poor innocent kid. Even if the mother is horrible and the dad was innocent here, someone has to take care of that poor kid. And my response is, okay, you do it. You care so much about this kid, you do it. They never want to, though. Isn't that fun? Isn't that a funny fucking coincidence? They never care anymore. All of a sudden, they don't care about the kids. It was not my problem. No. Now someone else has to pay. That's a common factor among virtue signalers and socialists, for that matter. It's always someone else's problem. I'm just going to point out the problem to fix, and someone else needs to do it. It's the same thing like when I was going over that article about the elk that was attacking a woman, and everyone was just standing around going, why doesn't anybody else step in and help? If you got 5 people each thinking the same thing, why does nothing ever get done? Why is this such a fucking surprise to anybody? And I'm just getting so sick and tired of it too. Now, they try to virtue signal and be holier than thou. Now, I'm for redistributing the wealth to the poor. Well, what about redistributing your wealth then? Well, I'm not a billionaire. I don't give up anything. No, dude. If you look at it globally, worldwide, because you're the big one for globalism, right? Global standards and all that, right? You want all of that. So, globally, pretty much everyone who's not homeless in the U.S. is in the top 1% worldwide. If you live in America and you're not fucking homeless, you're in the 1%. So why don't you give up what you have to improve the life of someone in Nigeria? Huh? Why don't you do that? Because as bad as you think you have it, being poor in America, that is luxury compared to how your average person in Nigeria lives. So why don't you give up some of your luxury to help them out? No, not me. No. Why should we do it globally? No. I only care about the U.S. I actually got into an argument with a socialist at a previous job, and that's pretty much what he said. When I brought up the whole global arguments that, you realize we're all in the top 1% globally, right? I only care about America. Okay, why draw that arbitrary distinction? Well, because we're all Americans. No, dude. Why stop there? Because America's a giant fucking country. Why do I, say if I was living in San Diego, why do I care about someone in Detroit, for example? Yeah, we may still be Americans, but they live all the way across the fucking country. We're never going to see each other. Completely different cultures, too, in a lot of cases. Why do I care? Why would I care, really? So how about we just limit it to the state? Okay, fine. So now that we're at the state level, why does someone in Denver care about someone in Fort Collins, even though they're both in Colorado? Okay, fine. Let's limit it to the city level. All right, and then you could split it up by neighborhoods. This never ends. If these guys want socialism the way they preach, it pretty much has to be done at a global level. Everyone on the entire fucking planet needs to be brought to a level playing field. That's the only way they can get what they want. But they're never willing to take it that far, because they only support socialism and they only virtue signal about how much they care about the poor when it's them demanding somebody else give their shit up to do something. But as soon as everyone turns to them and says, okay, time for you to pay your fair share, then it's always, I think we've gone far enough. We could just leave. Not after what you did. We're taking your shit next, motherfucker. Yeah, they had a joke about that too. My parents had a joke about that in the Soviet Union. But yeah, you got a group of communists sitting around a table discussing how they're going to redistribute everything. And first guy goes, yeah, we're gonna take everybody's cows. We're just gonna, you got 2 cows, we're gonna take one, redistribute it. Okay, cool. Second one, we're gonna redistribute everybody's pigs. If you got too many pigs, we're gonna take half of them and give them out to everyone else. And everyone agrees, okay, cool. And then, all right, and we're going to do the same thing with chickens. And then one of them stands up and shoots him in the head. And everyone looks at him like, what the hell, dude? Like, no one's touching my chickens. That's socialism and communism in a nutshell. It's just a bunch of fucking parasites demanding other people give them their money. But the second they are expected to pony up, all of a sudden they don't want to have anything to do with it anymore. And on a final note, because I know someone's going to bring this up, because they always do. Well, what about all of those millionaires and billionaires who are socialists? So, socialism requires redistribution of wealth, which has to be done by some organization, right? Some centralized government entity has to be in control of all the money, to take it from those it thinks doesn't need it and redistribute it to those it thinks it does. Who do you think is going to be in charge of those organizations? Something tells me it's probably going to be these billionaires who support socialism. They're going to show up and say, look, I got all this experience managing money. You could put me in charge of everybody's fucking resources, and you could trust me. I'm not going to skim any money off the top. Yeah. So even them, it's self-interest. A rare few of them may actually be doing it, just out of a sense of virtue signaling, just to make themselves feel better. But those like Soros and his ilk, they're doing it intentionally because they know if they get their system in place, they are the ones that are going to be managing it. You see? That's how they fucking play your asses. They get you to voluntarily give up all of your rights and all of your resources to them. And then you get Venezuela, where being interviewed now, all of these Venezuelans are like, yeah, I kind of regret giving up my guns now that I'm fighting the government for my very survival. And we here in America are like, We look over at the UK as well, like, wow, how much more are you guys just going to bend over for your authoritarian government? When are you going to finally take up arms and, oh, right, you can't anymore, can you? And then they wonder why us Americans cling to our guns so much. Big surprise, isn't it? Yeah, so at least the way things are here in America, when these parasites start demanding that somebody else go out and seize all the resources to redistribute to them, at the very least, most of them are not going to be willing to take that risk. So we got that going for us. And yep, there's my rant. In case some of you aren't aware yet, we actually have launched the Blade Devil merch shop. Link in the description box. So if you've ever wanted to support the channel but actually wanted something physical in return, we got the shop for you now. Lots of good stuff up in here. So if you would like any of those, or just in general want to support the channel, want to support original content, original products, like Diversity in Comics always used to say, then this is probably the best way to do it. So check it out. We're going to be adding new items on a monthly basis, at least in the near future. So check back often, and independent projects like the ones we're working on are only possible thanks to you guys. So appreciate all of your support.